Thank you. Well, I've been in the education business for a long time, and I bring some counsel from one of the preschoolers in our school. It was the other day at Valentine's. I went in and helped them. Well, I went in there. I didn't help, but I went in there and helped decorate cookies, and one of the little boys was sitting by me, and he said, "Don't take too big of a bite, because it'll make your poop hurt." So I offer you that wisdom. Yeah. Chew your food, please, please. We learned that in kindergarten. Hey, it's just been a blessing for me to be an educator for all these years. I grew up here in Mesa. I went to Lowell Elementary School. You know where that is? On Broadway. And Mesa Junior High. And our family went to Mesa High. And now my kids go to Westwood. So I'm a Mesa guy. Been here forever. And the guys that grew up with me in high school, they were very concerned that I became a principal in the first place, a teacher or a principal, and now consulting and coaching other superintendents and principals. They get very concerned. They can't understand it at all. And now that I'm opening 2 schools, that's even more puzzling for them. I want to tell you a little story about why I'm doing this, what motivates me. You probably recognize the little girl on the left, Jessie Shockley, right? I'm still missing, right? What happened? As I read the story and I look at this little 5-year-old girl who wanted to be a ballerina, mom's in prison since she is 2 months old, comes out of prison, gets custody of the kids, her and her 3 sisters, and not too long later, Jessie's missing. Didn't the school notice anything? Wasn't there some sort of a, hey, these kids are now going with a woman who has a history of child abuse and unstable. As the other siblings of Jessie went to school, wasn't there some sort of a signal from a teacher or someone that this little girl might be in danger? And now she's no more. Probably. A sad tale. Jessie's not the only one, right? There were 7 children last year in Arizona killed by a caretaker, 5 years old. I want to tell you a story about this little boy. His name is Kerry. I visited with his mother for quite some time about his and her experience in the schools. Kerry's dad abandoned the family when he was a little guy, and there were 6 kids. Now there's a mom that's raising kids by herself, and so Kerry, in 2nd grade, I mean, he's a good-looking little guy, isn't he? Would you expect him to cause problems in your school or in your neighborhoods? No. 2nd grade, Kerry needs to go to the bathroom. And the teacher says, nobody get out of your seat unless you ask permission. Kerry's raising his hand, trying to get the attention of his teacher. He needs to go now. And he gets out of his seat to go tell the teacher, I need to go to the bathroom. The teacher says, get back in your seat. So Kerry goes to his seat. Pretty soon, he can't hold it. So he just gets out of the seat and does what any of my university students will do. They'll just get up and go take care of business. Kerry got up and went and took care of business. Teacher realizes that he's gone, calls the principal. They do a little hunt for Kerry and find him and bring him to the principal's office. And the principal is going to give him a swat. Calls Kerry's mother. She goes down, and Kerry's mother is livid. You wouldn't let him go to the bathroom? I mean, I'm all for disciplining my boys, and if one of them are in trouble at school, they're in more trouble when they get home. So they didn't give Kerry the swat. As Kerry is leaving the principal's office, he looks up at the teacher in full defiance of a 2nd grader. He's 7 years old, right? And he says, I wish you were dead. What do you think happened next?
They threw him out of school.
They threw him out of school. Because we have the communist scare. I don't know. He could be an infiltrator. He could be I don't know. So they kick him out of school, and now this young mom has got to go before the school board and explain to them that her 7-year-old is not actually a killer or a communist threat or a terrorist or anything like that. He's just a boy with a mouth. 3rd grade, 4th grade, Carrie's growing up, becoming more and more angry. And this mom goes to school and says, hey, I need some help. I need some help with my boy. And the message to her was, hey, you're the mom. We don't know what to do with him. He's making us crazy too. We don't know what to do. 5th grade, Carrie is so angry at a teacher that he backs her up against the chalkboard with a verbal assault. He's this tall, probably. And he's got this teacher pinned against he doesn't touch her, but he's got her with a verbal assault, pinned her up against the chalkboard. Well, okay, mom's called, and now there's the school's messages, why can't you control your son? And mom's saying, man, I need help from you. I don't know what to do either. I don't know what to do. So they order psych eval, psychological evaluation, and it comes back that the eval, from this mother's perspective, the evaluation came back saying that she was not a good enough mother, that she needed to be more strict in disciplining this boy. All right, 6th grade, 7th grade, now he's in junior high school, and he begins ditching school. Gets into violence. He becomes part of, as a 7th and 8th grader, now he's into the drugs, into violence, into gang activity. And this mother's going to the school, I need help with my boy. I don't know what to do. By the way, all of the siblings of this guy, they're just fine. They're at school, everything's just fine. This guy now is bullying and traumatizing the family, beating up the little brother and traumatizing the little sisters. This mother's going for help. Nobody's helping. Pretty soon now, Carrie's does not go back to school after the 8th grade. They can't get him to go. Drops out. Violence, drugs, sexual promiscuity. He gets his GED. This mother's very strong, matriarch of the family, helps him get through the GED, and she convinced him to join the Army. So he joins the Army, and hoping that that'll help fix him. Dishonorable discharge because of violence and drugs. He's homeless now, living on the beaches of California. When he was 24 years old, Carrie called his mother. Hey, I want to come home. I need some help. So this mother says, please come home. He comes back. He's struggling with a drug addiction, struggling with feelings of violence, and they find out that he's bipolar. And that's what's going on. When this mother, her birthday is on Memorial Day. I just spoke with her today, actually. Her birthday is on Memorial Day. She turns 50. And that morning they find Carrie dead in her garage. He hanged himself. Carrie's my little brother. And Yvonne's my mom. So I vowed at that point, I'm going to do something. I was going to be an educator anyway. I'm going to do something for the Carries and the Winsor family of the world, that from the outside appearance, we look like just another neighborhood family. But there's trauma in our home because of a marriage and because of a boy that's got bipolar disorder. I get a master's degree in special education and become a special ed teacher for kids like Carrie with mental behavioral disorders and try to help. The system wouldn't let me help. I couldn't bring the family in. I couldn't do it. It wouldn't let me help. So I became a principal. The system wouldn't let me help. There's too many barriers. So I thought, well, I'll become a consultant. So I'm traveling around helping schools to help Carrie and help the families. The system is, I can't break through the system. It wouldn't let me. So I had an idea. We called it the Paideia Idea. Paideia is a Greek term, and it means, it's Greek for the upbringing of the whole child. So when I saw this, I was consulting back east, and I saw this idea, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's it. That's it. So we created this idea that what if I had this school that had an academy with it that was rigorous, enriched learning activities to keep these kids interested and motivated. And inside that, I started at preschool. And I take these kids when they're infants and these young moms that are struggling and dads, and I start coaching them as a family when these guys are infants. What if inside my school I had what's called a family center, and I offered family services to these kids and these families inside my school? And we would assist the families in the upbringing of the whole child, to include the intellectual child, the character and leadership part of the child, the wholesome recreation, teaching about wholesome recreation to the child and the family, and teaching about and serving them with mental and behavioral health needs and physical medical health needs. This takes a lot of money, a lot of money. I'm telling you, 2 weeks after I hatched this idea and put it on paper and started to think about it, the investors showed up with $6 million. I told them the story, and they said, we want into this, and we want to keep building this and building it. Isn't that a beautiful campus? They designed it how I wanted them to design it. It's being built right now on 16th Street and Baseline in South Phoenix, in the heart of poverty and in the heart of troubled families. So, the floor plan of our facility. I wanted to make sure that our facility created a hub of synergy wrapped around the family, so that if Yvonne Winsor comes to our school and says, I need help with Carrie, that I can wrap my arms around Yvonne and say, guess what? I've got a place for you. And there's counselors here right now. And there's a place for you to be. And we can help. If Jesse Shockley, if we notice that Jesse's sisters are traumatized and Jesse isn't attending school time after day after day after day, and I know that Jesse's mother has a history of this, I can notify these guys, and we can leave the school and go find her and wrap our arms around Mom Jerice, right? Wrap our arms around her. She's worth saving too, isn't she, the mom? Yeah. So we go and we save the mom, we save the child, and we come in here, we bring them in, and we nurture them back to health as a family. Inside of here, then, we have our preschool. We have our academy with a nice big gym for the community to use. And we have our family center. It's interesting. As soon as I hatched this idea, people started to show up. A good friend of mine now, Bob Young of the Tanner Community Development Corporation in Phoenix, he showed up. Our paths just crossed, and this touched his spirit, and he wants to be involved. They provide mental and social behavioral health services to kids and to young moms. That's the piece that I don't know how to do, but he knows how to do it. Then we met with Southwest Behavioral Health Services. They know how to do it, don't they? Yeah. So they're committed. They're committed to putting somebody in here all the time. And I have a door right there. You see that? There's no barriers. When that counselor comes out of this hallway, she's going to know all those kids. She's going to know all the teachers. She's going to sit in our IEP meetings, our special ed meetings, and our child study team meetings. And she's going to be all over that building, giving counsel and knowing and understanding the children. Next, we met with a group called, out of University of Arizona, the Family, Economic, and Financial Education. They showed up. And what that is, we'll have curriculum inside of our family center on computerized curriculum for families to come in, and we'll coach them through budgeting. We'll coach them. There's specific curriculum designed to help a family get off of food stamps and to start saving money for a car and understanding how that works. So we're going to wrap our arms all the way around. The other day, I have a good friend who is the vice president of Chicano Por La Causa, and CPLC out of South Phoenix. They are so excited. So now they're coming in to provide the services for the community that they provide anyway. And then Reach Out America, do you know Reach Out America? They provide dental services for kids and families in poverty. They're going to be inside our building providing the dental services for those kids who can't afford it. Well, I think you can feel my passion for it. This has not happened yet. Right now, the state of education, I've been in it forever, Juana has been in it forever. The state of education is this. Your child is a growth percentile is a data point on the school's label. So what I need to do is I need to take Carrie and move him from this growth percentile of 20th percentile, and I've got to do whatever it takes to move him up to the 30th percentile, or I'm going to get a label now of a C or a D. And that's where it's important to our schools. Not because they're bad people. We have wonderful people, wonderful educators stuck in a system that's not about the family and not about kids. I think, I'm convinced that if I bring this child and this family into our school and wrap the arms of service around this child, and I take care of the social and behavioral health needs of the child and the family, that student is going to be better able to learn, pay attention. They'll be more motivated to learn deeply and not just learn enough to pass the Ames test. That's the bet that we have at our school. So, what I would like you to do, I saw you passing money around. I was licking my chops. I saw there were only onesies out there, but I thought, man. Now, what I'd like you to do is, if this touches you at all, if this is something that makes sense to you, what I'd like to do is keep in touch with you. I'd like to get your information. Stay in touch with me, and stay in touch with the Paideia movement. It's more than an idea now. It's a movement of families, of educators, of business people, to push this idea forward. So that when a family comes in, that we don't wring our hands and say, "You're not a good enough parent. We don't know what to do with little Hector either." Instead, we wrap our arms around them, we take them in, and we provide the services that they need to become a healthy family. Does that sound fair enough to you? All right. I appreciate the 15 minutes you allowed me to be with you. Thanks so much. Yes.